All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everyone joining me on this program. This is the Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program, and as always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's holy Sabbath day. Now, before we get started, let me remind you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And by all means, while you're down there, smash that notification bell, because I don't want you to miss any of our lessons. And if you feel so inclined because you are being edified by these lessons and would like to donate, check the description box down below. Now that the introductions are out of the way, we're going to go back into our lesson, and we are continuing with our series of Show Thyself a Man. This is part of our High Value Hebrew series here. And in this particular series, I'm really talking about the men, developing of the men. And it's going to be really around three particular themes, and that is to increase the value, pursue your purpose, and protect your seed. That's what it's about. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Now, this one is the second installment of this particular lesson, and we're going to focus more on pursuing your purpose. The first one is about increasing your value, and I'm talking about it in every different way. And now we're going to talk about pursuing your purpose. Now, the one after this will be about mate selection or protecting your seed. It'll be dealing with how to recognize or encouraging men to stay away from wicked modern women, to look for the qualities in a woman that makes them a wife. So we deal with that in another one. This one here is Pursue Your Purpose in our Show Thyself a Man High Value Hebrew series. Now with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into our lesson. And we're going to start over in Ecclesiastes. Let's see here. Ecclesiastes, and we're going to go chapter 9 in verse 10. And it says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. There's nothing there. So whatever you're going to do, do it. I spoke about it in the first lesson when I said you need to be that guy. As men, we need to be that guy. Go for it. Go for the goal. Not half-hearted, not lackadaisical. Go for it. Be that dude, okay? And I'm talking about the best version of yourself. Aim to be that guy. To be known for that. Place your stamp. Make your mark. Be that guy. And the Bible doesn't speak against that. And I'm not talking about vanity or vainglory or anything like that. I'm just talking about the best version of yourself, because we have so much potential. I read about the 5 talents in the first lesson. I don't know. I may read it again today. But whatever is vested in us, it is up to us to take that which our master gives us and be fruitful with it. To invest in whatever those talents, skills, knowledge, whatever they are. We're supposed to maximize it. We need to maximize our mind, maximize our spirit, maximize our bodies. We literally need to go into beast mode in all those particular areas. I don't care whether or not you're going to have a wife and a family or not. Regardless of that, we need to go into beast mode. We need to get it done. That's what it is. That's what it means to be a man, to stand and show thyself a man. Let's go to 1 Kings. That's what this is all about. So let's go to 1 Kings. I want to show you something real quick, and then we'll jump into our lessons. 1 Kings chapter 2, and we're going to look at the first, say, 3 verses. 1 Kings chapter 2, and it says, now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth, meaning I'm about to die. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. Show thyself a man. That's what this is about. That's what this series is about. And I'm just going to give you some what the Bible says about us becoming a man, right? Now look at this in verse 3. It says, and keep the charge of the Lord thy God. To do what? He tells us to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whatsoever thou turneth thyself. Whatever you're going to do, that you may prosper. Keep his command, make that. That's why I said in the first lesson, that's why I said the first thing, follow Yah. The first thing, make the Messiah the supreme true north of your life. Now he'll let you figure out what you want to do. Okay, we read that over in Proverbs. You figure out what you're going to do and he will direct your steps. You figure what is that you want to do? What is the area of giftedness that you have? What is it? And you go and you figure that out, and then he's going to direct how you're going to get it done. But he wants us to get it done. He wants us to be producers. If you saw the first part 1, if you saw the first lesson, then we say what? Traditionally, men are what? Leaders, providers, protectors. We're supposed to produce. That's what we're here for. We're supposed to produce. Right? So we're going to go. We did Ecclesiastes. Let's go to Lamentations. Let's go to Lamentations real quick. And we're going to go chapter 3 in Lamentations. Chapter 3. Let's read 27 and 36. 27 says, is it good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth? Is it good for a man to bear the yoke in his youth? I told you how men are developed. We're not developed the same as women. Let's look at 36 real quick. To subvert a man in his cause, the Lord approveth not. When he is pursuing his purpose, don't preserve a man in his cause, right? Don't subvert a man in his cause. Now let's go back. Let's go back to 26, okay? 27, I should say. Is it good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth? When men are young, how we are developed. We're developed through trial and tribulation and suffering and sacrifice. We are refined in the fire. Look at what happens. Look at how boys are coached in sports. Football, basketball, baseball, boxing, any of the Olympics. Look at how they are coached. That's how men are developed. That's how boys become men. It's not toxic, it's development. Look at how they grow. It's the hero's journey. 36, to subvert a man in his cause, the Lord approveth not. Man is about his business. When he is about his business, let him do that. Because we're supposed to produce. We're supposed to do something. When you find your purpose, you get after it. We can't afford to be couch potatoes. We got to get it done. We got to strengthen our mind. We got to strengthen our bodies. We got to work out. We got to do something. We have to produce. When we slow down and we stop getting it done, the depression. We get overweight. We get depressed. Then drugs, alcohol. We stop producing. We lose our way. We lose our purpose. We lose what we're here for. Then nothing seems to matter, and we fall into melancholy. Let's go to Colossians 3. Colossians 3. Colossians 3 and 23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. You see how it's not directly saying, okay, do this for work. Be a carpenter, be a fisherman. It doesn't say that. You get to figure out what you want to do. You get to figure out what your purpose is. Okay? You have your source. Okay? You have the Ancient of Days, but by way of the Messiah. So you have the Messiah, because no one can get to the Father except through the Messiah. So you have your Messiah. You have your Lord. You have your source now. So you have your know-how. You know how you're going to get it done because you have the power behind you. That's the battery in your back. Now, where are you going to go? What do you want to do? Have you ever sat down and said, you know what? This is what I want to do, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. The thing that will cause you to get out of bed without an alarm clock. Your purpose. See, the reason why the purpose is so important is because when you have a plan, then you have direction and you have continuous, perpetual motivation. No one has to tell you to do it. When we look at the people who really make a dent in the universe, no one has to tell them anything. No one has to wake them up in the morning. No one has to set the alarm clock. No one says, oh, hey, you got to go to work. They're on it. They breathe it. They live it. They consume it. Dare I say, they're obsessed with it because they have a purpose. Look at anyone who made a positive stain in history. Look at it. They just keep going and going. It's what they are all about. Think of anyone who is wildly successful. And I'm not even talking about just money, just wildly successful, right? Think of anyone. You really think they have trouble getting out of bed in the morning? You really think somebody has to nudge them and say, hey, you really ought to go build those computers. You really ought to go, get that theme park going. You really ought to go open up some more restaurants. You really ought to, wake up. You really think they have to do that? You really think someone has to do that to them to get them going, or they just go? And people say, oh, you just work yourself to death. When they're on their purpose, it doesn't feel like work. That's the difference. That's the difference. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like pursuing their purpose. That's what it feels like. The same thing can happen right here. Because we're all made in Yah's image. We're all men. Some of these people, I use these outside, secular type people. And some of them, they probably have religion. I don't know. Some of these people, when you're talking about these famous millionaires and billionaires and stuff like that, I don't know. I don't know their religious beliefs. I don't know their faith. But I know there's some that has faith and they have the exact same drive and determination. Same thing. They found their purpose. They're pursuing their purpose. They went into beast mode and they got it done. How about you? How about I? Jeremiah 32. Jeremiah 32. And when we get there, we want one verse. Jeremiah 32. Just one verse, which would be 19. Great in counsel and mighty in work, for thine eyes are open upon all the ways of the sons of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. The fruit of his doings. He's actually doing something, the fruit of his doing. He's going to give according to the fruits of his doings. Now, of course, we're talking about these are moral steps. What are you doing as far as the works? But let me just ask you, does your doings, the things you do, does it bear fruit? What are you producing for yourself? And again, doesn't necessarily have to be money, but are you producing something? What do we make of it? It's not for me. I'm talking about for you. To what end? You're doing something to what end? Now, I'm not trying to be nihilistic, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying so it can refocus you on your purpose. I'm trying to reprioritize, help you to reprioritize your life. Are you wasting time on things that does not matter? Are you wasting time that does not lead you to the furtherance or the fulfillment of your purpose? Your God-given purpose. He gave us all different gifts. He gave us all different talent, skills, knowledge levels. He gave us all something different. And he wants you to do something with it. He's like, here you go. Now, what are you going to do with it? Right? That way it's self-motivating. He said, whatever you find yourself to do, just like I said in Ecclesiastes, whatever you find yourself to do, put your hand to it, whatever you do. There's nothing when you're dead, when you go into the ground, there's nothing. There's nothing else. But whatever you do, in Proverbs, it's like, when a man finds his way, I'm paraphrasing, forgive it, it's crude, but when I'm paraphrasing, the man finds his way, and the Lord directs his steps. You figure it out. And what are you going to do? That's basically what he's talking about. You're going to figure it out. What are you going to do? Proverbs 20 and verse 5. Proverbs 20, verse 5. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep waters, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Figure out, pursue your purpose. Figure it out. Talk to some people. Organize your thoughts. Get down, drill down, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. I used to attend all these particular different motivational seminars, back in the day and stuff like that. And they always they tell you to, when you want to find your why, you answer the question and go a couple of levels deep. Go down 4, 5, 6 levels deep of why. What do you want to do? I want to do X, Y, Z. Why? Well, because A, B, C. Why? Get down, 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 down. Why? And when you get to that, it'll get in your head, hard for you to sleep, and certainly strengthens you to get up in the morning and get after it and get going. Because sure, you can work hard, but you can also work very, very smart to figure out what you want to do. You have to bear the yoke in your youth. So when you get a little older, you don't have to bear the yoke as much. You can just be living in that purpose, living in that, and be self-motivated the entire time. Because that's how men are built. We have to make an investment of youth. We have to make an investment of youth so we can get our ROI when we're older. When we have all that energy when we're young. When we have all that zeal when we're young. Find that purpose and we're off like a rocket. I'm just talking about how men are made. We look at how it's success leaves clues, right? As it were, right? And we look at the example. Just look at the example of someone who was doing what you would like to do and accomplishing what you would like to accomplish, and look at the trail of clues that they leave behind. There was a method. There was some trial and some error. And you duplicate what they're doing. Let's continue. We're going to go ahead to 1 Corinthians 9. First Corinthians 9. 1 Corinthians 9, and we're going to read 24 to 26. 24 says, "Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run, that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things." All things. "Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainty, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air." Meaning he's saying, I don't do this for nothing. I'm not doing this for nothing. And, I keep my body in subjection. I bring it into, I keep under my body and bring it into subjection. Okay. And so he's talking about, the gospels and keeping his way and stuff like that. But you do run because you're trying to reach a prize. Now, of course, we could talk about the ultimate prize. Okay. We want an immortal body. We want to have access into the kingdom. We want salvation. We want to be saved. We want to have communion with the Messiah, and we want to be with the Most High Father. We want to be in New Jerusalem. We could talk about all that. What are you going to do in the meantime? What are we doing in the meantime? Oh, I'm just going to study and meditate on the word. Okay, cool. Now you're done with that. What are you going to do after that? Oh, I'm just going to evangelize and talk to people and say, okay, when that's over, what are you going to do after that? You see how we have a lot of space to fill. See, sometimes we say we're going to do certain things, and it's just our way of avoiding the things we should be doing. Sometimes we're so busy and we're not productive. There's a difference between busy and being productive. Some people are busy, some people are productive. Which one are you? Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians 4. And I want 11 and 12. "And that ye study to be quiet and to do your own business and to work with your own hands as we commanded you, that you may walk honestly towards them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing." You do this, that you work with your own hands, you mind your own business, you do your thing, you do your thing. Right? Now, other people may be doing it in service of themselves. You could be doing it in service of the Most High. Right? Let me ask you this. We do a lot of belly aching about secular people, right? They don't serve God. They don't, they don't love Him. They don't Okay, all that. But let me ask you something. Does not God, have artists? I'm talking like in the Bible or in Hebrew history, right? Were there not artists? Were there not doctors? Were there not lawyers? Not these kind of lawyers, but there were, lawyers. Were there not engineers? Were there not fishermen? Were there not really rich? Are there not rich people in the Bible that served God? Stuff. Well, Abraham was rich. Lot was rich. Poor, got rich again. David, Solomon. So Rehoboam. So on and so forth. So let me ask you this: even today, does the Most High, would you say the Most High could use some entrepreneur that actually serves Him? Could He use an artist that serve Him? Pick a genre, anything, right? Could He use that? Could He use some athletes that serve Him? Could he? And we don't have to even deal with upper echelon. Could we use some teachers could we use the teachers that actually serve the Most High, or whether it be politicians, ones that actually serve God? See, my point is this. We bellyache about people like that, but we forget the fact that we have some of the same gifts that they do that does not serve the Most High, that we can serve them. You can be that doctor, counselor, psychologist, a teacher, the fireman, police officer. You can be anything and you can serve the Most High. Any of these professions and you can serve the Most High. Respectable professions, right? Now, I'm not talking about the immoral professions. I'm not talking about any of those. Gentlemen, don't be so high-minded that you're no earthly good. You're here. This is the proving ground. This is the character development right here. So we have to activate beast mode and get after it. Right here, right now. Oh, I just want to pray. The rents do. See, when it comes to men, nobody is going to come save us. We got to get it done. That's the cross we have to bear. As men, we have to produce. And when we do it and we get on our grind and we get after it, we're in the best position to build and sustain a family, if that's what you want. Get on your purpose. So then if you do it, let's say for instance, you actually do want a family. You want children, you want a wife, you want that. Okay, let's just see if you don't. Because I know a lot of men are walking away now, and that's fine. We'll talk about that too. But let's say you do want a family. And I said this in the first lesson. If the right woman, a righteous, traditional woman, because I differentiate between a righteous woman and a wicked woman, a righteous, traditional woman, she's there to be a helpmeet, as the Bible says, right? What is she helping? She's supposed to be furthering your goal, furthering the mission, so that the family in your plan can come to pass. What is she helping? Do you know what that is? Do you have a program that she signs up for? Because that's what she's looking for. What's your goal? What's your mission? What's going on, right? And I'm talking about a traditional, a good woman. I'm not talking about a wicked woman. Wicked woman just want to know how much money you got and how much she can extract from you. But a traditional woman wants to build with you. The traditional righteous woman builds with you. The foolish wicked woman tears the house down. So this help me. What is she helping you do? See, you and I, we have to have the answer to that. This is what we're talking about. We're going to go to 1 Timothy. Five and 8. 1 Timothy 5:8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. What did I tell you? So the rents do. You do want a family. That's our imperative. That's what we have to do. We have to build. We have to get it done. We have to go out and get after it, because no one is going to save us. I don't know if you guys have seen any like the documentaries or you see things like homeless people and stuff like that. Have you noticed that people are a little bit more inclined to help women who are homeless than men who are homeless? See, that tells you right there the expectations of a man. That tells you right there. Now, I'm not saying, oh, kick a man while he's down and it's a shame for someone to be, homeless. And, I'm not saying, oh, my heart doesn't go out to him. No, my heart does go out to him. But I'm just saying, have you noticed? Maybe you haven't. What about yourself? Maybe you feel the same about both, but ask yourself, how do you feel? How do you view it? What's your perspective when you see a homeless guy versus a homeless woman? For some people, I can't speak for everyone, some people it hits a little different. Because there's a burden of performance on men. It used to be said a lot, just go get a job, right? You tell a man, just go get a job, go do something. And I get it because this is how men are made. This is how we are. That's our lot in life. We got to be producers. We got to go get it done. Modern vernacular, I got to go get it out the mud, right? That's what has to be done. Welcome to manhood. Boys, males are born. Men are created. I said it before. I'll say it again. See, the difference is women are born with their value, everything that they need to succeed in life, and all they have to do is preserve it. Men are not. We have to build it. The Most High expects us to do something with the one talent or the or the 2 talents or the 5 talents. What are you going to do with it? Let's keep going. Galatians 6:9. Galatians 6:9. It says, and let us not be weary in well doing, for what? In due season we shall reap if we faint not. Now, obviously, he's talking spiritually, but let me borrow it for a second. Think of investments. You invest in now early so that you can reap later. You're investing money and time and effort now so you can increase your money in time later. You can increase your money, reduce your effort, and have more time freedom if done correctly. That's the art of investing. That's why you're doing it. If you faint not in well doing. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand. He's not talking about investing. He's talking about our walk. I get it. But I'm just making a point here. I don't want someone to accuse me of scripture twisting. Okay? As you guys notice, I'm doing way more extemporaneous speaking. These are just my notes to track. But the importance of it is still there. It's no less important than what we have to do to become a man. Otherwise, we suffer dearly. We suffer so bad if we don't get this right. We have suffered so bad when we don't have male role models in our life. We suffer so bad when men are lost. We suffer so bad when we don't have a purpose. When we walk around aimlessly. When we are a ship with no rudder. And we just get tossed to and fro. Our young boys have suffered so much by not having a father at home. They suffered so much by just being raised in single parent household. We have to learn how to be men. It's unfortunate because there's a huge gap that now men have to figure it out. Particularly some of us who grew up without a father, right? We had to figure out how to be men. We grew up with TV fathers, movie fathers, We may not have said it out loud, but we thought about it. That the guys are absentee. So we have to figure it out. And what do guys do? You have your TV fathers, you got your movie fathers, you got maybe a neighborhood father, you got a coach, somebody, right? Some of them, they get even worse. They go join gangs. Why? Because they're looking for something to help shape them, to mold them. It's almost the same reason a young man will join a team to play a game. It's almost the same as why they would join a gang. It's almost the same. That's my bro. That's day one. Got my back. I got his back. That's like my brother. Same thing with a team. The camaraderie. They got my back. That's my bro. Looking for that guy who has his stuff together so we can develop to become that. Real men. We're all trying to figure out, how do I stand and show myself a man? What does that mean? Men gravitate towards strength. Men gravitate towards competence. This is how we try to find our footing. Now, sometimes people find the example in the wrong place, but we can see what they're looking for. Just look at what's going on. They said 80% of prison inmates come from a single parent home. 80%. You see the stats on runaways. Most of them, 70-something%, come from single parent home. Teenage pregnancy, teenage drug use. I could go on. Society is lost if we don't have men, real men. Is lost. The family begins to erode and crumble. We need men. That's what it takes in this society. We need men, and it starts with the man. It starts right there. And so, brothers and sisters, if you grew up without a father, now you're grown. It's too late. Okay, fine. It's too late. You can't go back and change that. But now you need to understand what it takes, what it means to be a man. That's how we're forged. As men, we're forged in the fire. Now, women are not forged the same way. We're not the same. We have two different purposes in life. Two different roles in life. We develop differently. But men, this is how it works for us. We have to develop. We have to have a purpose. We have to find it. We have to pursue our purpose. We have to increase our value. Invest those talents. And we have to protect our seed. Because we're supposed to raise up righteous seed. That's the intent. Now, some will get away. Don't get me wrong. Once they move out of your house, it's out of your hands. But the intent is there. Let's keep going. We just did Galatians 6 and 9. And let's go to Proverbs 12:11. And 11 says this: he that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that floweth vain persons is void of understanding. Followeth. He that follows. That's why I say, if you be about it, if you're gonna follow someone, this is pursue your purpose. You find someone who's doing what you're doing, well, what you want to do, and they're successful at it, they're doing pretty good, you follow them. And don't worry, you'll know them by their fruit. But you don't want to follow the vain person who's just all talk. It sounds good, but they're not producing. They're not getting it done. But they talk about it. Now, don't get me wrong, if they're on track, that's fine. They don't have to be there. They don't have to hit the mountaintop. But if you see they're climbing and they're ahead of you, you can listen to that. That's how what iron sharpens iron. That's why you have mentoring. That's why you have coaching. That's why we have masters. We have senseis. That's why that exists. Iron sharpens iron. That's the reason why this whole thing exists. That's why we have rank. Because the ones before you can show you how to get to where they are, to get to their level. Development. That's what it means to be a man. Development and proficiency. Competent. Effective. Producers. It's what we are, or at least what we're supposed to be. Producers. To escape that is to suffer worse. Look at the lives of those who produce nothing, who do nothing. The men who do nothing gets nothing. Man doesn't work, doesn't eat. We're supposed to produce. Pursue your purpose. Proverbs 27 and 17. I've been talking about it. We may as well go to it. 27 and 17. That's what this is about. This is how men become men. Iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Iron sharpens iron. This is how we get better. This is how we develop. This is how we go further. This is what motivates men. This feeds and fuels the competitive nature. When we see someone, oh, this person makes this much money, okay, it's like a bar. So now we want to hit that or surpass it. When we see records or something, records in sports or something like that, okay, we see that bar, okay, we hit that. Oh, now we want to pass it. We want to hit it or break that record. Why? Because it makes us better. We become men. Our confidence grows. Our self-respect grows. And then we are men of value. Men worthy of respect. That's what men do. We respect competence. We respect strength. We respect when other men get it done, they earn our respect. When someone lays it on the line, they earn our respect. And we are inspired by it. This is how men, this is the psyche, this is how men are made, this is how men are born. Or, well, created. Males are born. This is how a boy becomes a man. So the breakdown of the family, this is the result of it. Let's look at Daniel 10 and 19. Daniel 10 and 19. And 19 says, and said, O man greatly beloved, fear not, peace be unto thee. Be strong, yea, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and I said, let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. That we need to be strong. It's not given us a spirit of fear. Be strong. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to go over to Matthew 25. We'll finish over in Matthew 25. And when I get there, I'm going to start over in 14. And so this is when he was telling them a parable, right? And so this is the Messiah. And he said, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, and to another 2, and to another 1. To every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey, and right away left. Right? Now again, this is us. We all got different measures of talent, gift, knowledge, all we different measures, right? Let's continue. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents, made 5 more talents. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2, right? He doubled. So he also, just like the one with 5 doubled the talents, the one with 2 doubled the talents. But he that received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. And after a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoned with them. Right? So he got a briefing, right? And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou hast delivered unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. I doubled your money, Lord. This is what you gave me. I doubled it. 21. His Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. And thou hast been faithful over a few things, and I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Pause. See, this is what we want, because a lot of times we like to say, oh, well, this is not fair. This person has more than me. And what are you doing with what he has given you? Have you figured out what you want to do and you start working on that? See, we don't have the luxury of a lot of excuses. Even though we use them a lot, we employ them a lot, but we don't have the luxury. When it comes to results, you don't need any excuses if you have the results. Some people have the results and others have the excuses. Which one do you want? "21. His Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things, and I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord." 22. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou hast delivered unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents besides them. Let's see his response, because this guy had a little less. So let's look at his response. And his Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things, and I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. So one had 5, the other had 2. They both doubled it. They both did something with it, and he was still happy, regardless of the amount they started off with. Okay, let's keep going. 24. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man, reaping where there has not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawn. Okay, so we're starting out with the excuses. So the other 2 had results. This one, he's kicking it off with excuses. He's out the gate with excuses. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth, and lo, there thou hast, that is thine. See, I still got your 1 talent. I got it. I knew you were hard, and I knew, so I didn't want to lose it. Let's see how to respond. His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful, slothful means lazy, wicked and slothful servant, thou knew it, that I reap where I sown not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. I would at least got interest. If you would have did something, and that's a little work. It was a little bit more work how the other 2, the 2 and the 5, when they had to flip it, they had to do a little something. This was just said, if I could at least got some interest on it. I could have at least got that. You didn't even do that. You did nothing with it. You wasted your talent. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which has 10 talents. For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. Okay? Because he was a good steward. But from him that has not shall be taken away even the which he has. A little bit that he does have, because he's not going to do it. It's going to be fruitless. He's not going to do anything with it. Just like what our time is. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if you're a husband or not. We have to do something. You got to figure out, find your purpose, and get after it. Period. That's it. Full stop. We only have so much time. We all have different measures of talent according to this parable. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm mainly talking to the men. Ladies, you got a different role to play. I'm trying to create high value Hebrew out here. And your road to being, a high value woman, completely different track. Completely different track. The mark of a high value woman is her ability to attract and retain a husband. Then the retention part is the most important part. The attraction, there's no issue with that. Most women, particularly in their prime, they can attract a man. That's not an issue. It's the keeping of one. That's the challenge. 2 different life goals. Back to the men. And then he says, on 30, he said, and cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. See, we've all heard that term, you're good for nothing, right? Many people who have talent, who have a little time, have things, and they do nothing with it. it's almost as though they're a waste of space, right? It's almost as though it's like, what's the use? You're not going to even do anything with your life. What's the use? See, gentlemen, it is up to us to produce. It's how we're wired. I read a quote in the other lesson, part 1. This is part 2. I had read a quote, and I think you guys had heard it before. I want to go back to it though. But it was saying that hard times create strong men. Strong men create soft times. Soft times, or easy times, create soft men or weak men. And weak men create hard times. Now that's me trying to get it off the top of my head, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find it so that I can quote it directly to get it right. Because I hate to butcher sayings, right? Hate to do that. So I like to get it right. Okay? Now, let's try it the right way. So the quote goes like this. It says, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. Right? I wanted to get that right. So that's how that quote goes. And we, unfortunately, are in a time of weak men. Well, we have a masculinity crisis. We don't have toxic masculinity. We have a masculinity crisis where men are giving up. They're giving up on dating. They're giving up on family. They're giving up. A lot of them has given up on self-improvement, getting after it, producing. But that's been a result of putting men down and telling men to play with dolls, and it's okay to wear dresses, and if a man is attracted to the T's in the LGBTQ community or whatever, oh, that's not homosexual, that's not gay. And so many men start falling for it. And you guys, we had a couple of years where it was all about toxic masculinity and stuff. And everybody just get out there and just become blue-pilled and weak. You've heard the term, the wussification of America. Men out there and just becoming weak. So this is a crisis of masculinity. When we don't have men who can step up, rise to the occasion, be men, stand in their frame, stand and show themselves a man. So, with that, serve Yah, men. Serve the Most High God. Serve the Messiah. Pursue your purpose. Increase your value. And protect your seed. This is the Show Thyself a Man series. And before we get out of here, allow me to remind you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Please smash that notification bell because I don't want you to miss any of our lessons. And if you feel so inclined because you're being edified by these lessons and would like to donate, check the description box down below. So with that being said, until next time, search the scriptures, improve all things. Shalom, Israel.